Is it a good time to buy DocuSign? Ticker symbol DOCU. What's going on, guys? It's Justin from Push and Profit. Hope you're having a beautiful day today. Now, I just wanted to make a quick and concise video to really just kind of talk about DocuSign. Now, this is a stock that honestly offers a lot of potential, being that it has recently sold off massively over the last couple of days. In fact, if we actually measure it from the low all the way to pretty much, let's say, the beginning of that day, it's fell down almost 76%, which is a hefty amount. And one of the things I talk about in a lot of my videos is looking for dip buying opportunities, but I don't simply buy things just because they dip, because the dip can always get dippier. That's something that I pretty much preach on this channel, right? But I want to cover why I'm actually looking into DOCU, and what are some things that I'm looking at, right? So again, we covered that it's fallen off massively. Did have this level of support where it started finally bouncing up. We had a really green day on I believe that was Monday, and it practically did. Let's say if we go from the low all the way to let's just say the high of the day, almost 10% for the day, which is definitely great. That's a good opportunity, especially if it was a short-term day trade. But I'm more so looking at this as far as a longer-term investment, like a swing trade, right? And the reason is, we did have that green day. We are bouncing up. We're going above this blue line right here, which is the exponential moving average, which is a sign that I use for confirmation that we're heading towards an uptrend, right? It's not 100%, guaranteed, but it's a sign, right? I also want to point out that the RSI is extremely oversold. So that's something else I want to point out to. Now, I also want to share some articles here. So we had Kathy Woods, ARK Invest, right? If you guys are unfamiliar with Kathy Woods, then I highly recommend you guys look her up. But she's a fund manager, and she purchased nearly 747,000 shares of DocuSign on Friday following the e-signatures company's steep decline. So she purchased it on Friday around here. Now, at the end of the day, she definitely, everyone's going to trade slightly differently. They're going to have different values and principles and things that they're looking at. So she bought over here. I personally wouldn't buy as it's selling off, simply just because there was no sign that it was bouncing back up. So Friday for me looked like a better day, and then today looks like a better day on the 7th. She just bought it over here. My concern is that it probably could have sold off more, but again, this is someone who's managing, I'm sure, billions of dollars. So at the end of the day, I'm sure they know what they're doing. I also wanted to show you guys what ARK Invest's top holdings are. Her number one holding is Tesla. She has Coinbase, she has Shopify. These are her top holdings. You don't see DocuSign there, but if you go to this PDF that I found online from her ARK Invest website, you can see that DocuSign is actually number 26 as far as her top holdings. And she has 1.43% of the fund's capital in that stock, right? And then of course you could scroll down, see what else she has for ticker symbol RKK, or I'm sorry, ARKK. So yeah, that's something. Now, I do want to warn you guys that simply just because Kathy Woods bought over here, she bought the dip, I'm buying the confirmation, she bought the dip, and even though she's Kathy Woods, we have to also acknowledge that we should never trade based off anyone else's, strategy, or just copy people, simply because look at year to date. I mean, ARK has been, negative 2% as of, October 31st of 2021. So it hasn't necessarily been a good year for Kathy Woods for 2021. Now, I know Kathy's strategy is slightly different. I focus more on the shorter term plays, while she's looking at a longer term, strategy. So I understand that maybe she may have a bad year for 2021 and have a negative 2% or negative 3% yield. But who knows, maybe 2025, 2010, those are the years that she's looking to, make large profits. Those are going to be her years. So again, never just trade off someone else's strategy, because you don't know what's going behind their mind. But, simply what I'm saying is, we have our DocuSign selling off massively, bottoming out at the support, and then we're showing signs of an uptrend. So for me, that's enough to enter into position. And I'm going to be looking to sell around $226.77, which again, if we kind of map it out from where we're at now to here, that's almost a 50% return, almost 58% return. Sorry. So that's a large return So for me, that's definitely a really nice short-term play. I also wanted to show you guys this website Quiver Quant. I made a video talking about it. They pretty much collect alternative data and they scalp it or scrape it through the internet. And we see mentions on Wall Street Bets, the Reddit forum, right? So in the last day, the most mentioned tickers, SPY, which is always probably going to be the number one because people generally refer to SPY as the overall market, although it's not really, but they do. And then you have Tesla in the video, and all the way at the bottom, you have DocuSign as one of the top mentioned stocks on our Wall Street Bets Reddit forum. Now, why is this important to me? Well, I just like to gauge, what I use Wall Street Bets to measure what retail is looking at. And, of course, I'm part of retail. Anyone who's not a large institution, we're part of retail, right? So I look at what other people are looking at. I just use that to kind of just see what's going on. I see DocuSign, more people in the last day have been looking more towards getting puts on it, right? So that's something interesting to me. That means, a large percent of retail traders on Wall Street Bets believe that this could possibly sell off more. So something that you really, kind of be worried about, which is why I always talk about in the Push and Profit program, mitigating risks, right? I talk about setting stop losses, and when you're making, I talk about locking in profits. I talk about a lot of strategies in that program. There is a coupon code in the bottom of the description for this video. It's actually the first link, so make sure to check out that coupon code because it's really a great program over 4 hours or 5 hours of video lessons. You get to message me and everything. But yeah, so over the last one day, this is pretty much what the sentiment has been for DocuSign. Over the last 7 days, DocuSign was actually top 3, and being the most mentioned, and that's probably because a lot of people were probably talking about DocuSign as it was selling off here. But as you can see, as we get closer, looking at a more shorter time frame, people are talking about it less. And in reality, I think more people should be talking about it now versus this area. I know a lot of people were probably panic selling or possibly buying puts, which is great if they definitely caught that play. That would have been an amazing play. But I think a lot of eyes should still be on DocuSign simply because we're at this area where there is opportunity presented. Now, I want to also get off the 4-hour chart and look more towards, let's look at a weekly chart. So at this weekly chart, we see we have this green candle over here after this massive red candle, and it could just be there was an overreaction in the market. There's lots of pullbacks. I don't think we should be afraid. We should really take advantage after opportunity is presented and confirmation is there. And one of the biggest reasons were analysts were downgrading the stock, right? So I kind of want to show you what the analysts are showing. The average analyst price target is $236.23. So according to I believe there's 22 different analysts, based on 22 different analysts, most of them are saying the average price is 236, and we're well below that, which is definitely a good sign that I look into. Again, I usually like buying when we're even below the lowest expectation for analysts, but we're fairly kind of at a good range over here. Most analysts are saying this is a strong buy, pretty strong hold. Now I am skeptical when analysts say hold because generally they mean sell, but there's a lot of biases and there's like conflicts of interest for analysts, so that's why generally they're always leaning more towards hold when they need to say sell. But this we're looking at it after it's already sold off, after pretty much it's had this massive sell-off. And if it does continue selling off, then hopefully you have your stop losses where you mitigate the amount that you can lose. But as an opportunity to collect a decent return, we could possibly see 58%. So that's really my view on DocuSign. Let me know in the comment section below if you guys are holding DocuSign, if you guys are planning on trading it, and any other stocks that you guys are looking into. And before you go, I need you guys to watch this next video right over here. Take care.